Yo, what is up, everybody? It is I, RageCage20. Whew, that was a sick flow. I ain't gonna lie, but I don't got the energy to appreciate it, cause I am, God man, starting to get to that hot part of summer, like that hot part of summer. I'm sweating like a motherfucker, man, for just sitting. It's hot. It's hot. Hot like this next song that's about to drop. Look at that segue. Jinjer Perennial we have today on the Micro album. I've read through the lyrics. I liked Jinjer. I found is one of the only groups that I like to read through the lyrics first. Not only because sometimes it can be hard to fully understand them with the screaming, but mostly because every single one of their songs usually has a video. Just about every single one. So I kind of want to focus more on the video than looking off at the lyrics. So I just read the lyrics to find out, okay, what's the song going to be about? We can focus on the lyrics later, so I could just focus on the video itself. This one's interesting. It's giving me very Nightwish, kind of one with nature and how humans destroy that beauty of nature. Kind of give me that kind of feel to it, which sounds really, really cool. Because I mean, as long as the planet exists, nature is a perennial thing. The constant cycle of life and death, which is kind of discussed here in the beginning when I mentioned last time about the suicide and whatnot, and the killing itself. Like nature is a very cyclical life and death kind of thing that exists forever. As long as Earth exists, nature will exist. So it is perennial. That is true. Very cool there. So it sounds like we're going to get into some very interesting stuff. Except for maybe maybe small part in the middle here, I cannot see the subject matter of this fitting well with heavy metal screaming and vocal fry. So I don't know if we're going to get a very beautiful somber Jinjer song, or if they're going to make it work. There is a way you could make it work. We'll see if they do it or not. I don't know what that way is, but I feel like there could be a way you could make it work, and if anyone can figure it out, I'm sure Jinjer could figure it out. I also mentioned at the end of the last video, I'll try to speed through this because it's a lot of information that I want to get out. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on the beginning slate here. That I thought I was a little kid, and then I saw the thumbnail again. I was like, nah, maybe I was thinking of Frozen by Within Temptation, but that ain't a little kid. It looks more like a teenager, but then I was looking at it more closely, and I was like, no, I see the gauges and stuff. That's Tatiana. Oops. So that was an interesting realization. Without further ado, Perennial here. Some interesting, beautiful nature shit. I am for it. I'm excited. Let's go. Let's get some of this.
Like funeral to me, the longest song of grief, and not for what has passed, but for what shall last.
Exhausted nature is so tragic and so eternal. Oh, spectacular tears, ridicules yourself. Death blows her slowly, crawling to the toes. Merciless life is falling off her head.
I'm here with her, I'm dressed with a few petals on my breast. We shared opiates and let the last destruction. In the name of total reconstruction. My biggest source of confusion. The reason of decay and dissolution. Unto permanent eyes, we found breathless paradise. No, we're not dead. No, we're not dead. Just enjoying coma.
From the ashes of my roots, the new me will rise to live again. This is poetry of you. This is poetry of me and you. From the ashes of my roots, the new me will rise to live again. This is poetry of you. Yes, this poetry of me and you.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Who walks upright?
Oh, I don't know. Whoa, we don't want no sneak peeks around here. What are you doing, Napalm? You crazy. Alright, I don't got as much to say about this one as the last one. Last one I went off. So I think it's okay. Let me pull this one back a little bit. That was cool. That was really cool. I don't know if it's because I was expecting it at the start that I kind of feel like, I kind of could have used a little softer throughout. Well, it's at the start. Everything else I think was fine. It was just the start between the exhausted all the way down to falling off her head. It was just that chunk. I think that chunk was a little too heavy for the subject matter. But everything else after that was fine. Even when it came back in heavy later, I think it was at the right spots to be heavy. I think it was fine. It was just that little chunk. I think it was a little heavier for kind of the what I envisioned the message and the way the message was going to be delivered. But I mean, not a bad thing. It was badass. It was definitely badass. Like, it was good heavy. It didn't feel like it was in place for what I was expecting personally. But I mean, it wasn't bad by any means. That was still pretty cool. There's really beautiful parts in there. I think the video itself really was the what really like kind of encapsulated me in this song. Kind of like Sit, Stay, Roll Over. Something about that video was just like, you know what I mean? That it took like the song to a new height kind of thing. And I think this video did a fantastic job as well, making the song even better. Because I was fascinated by parts in the video and parts that I thought was like hilarious. That I don't think anyone else would think is hilarious. Kind of one of those Bill Burr muffin moments is what I like to call it, the muffin moment. To where you think about something, you think it's fucking hilarious, and then you try telling other people, and they're just like, what's wrong with you? I had one of those. My classic, my favorite one. Sorry to go off on a tangent here a little bit, but I haven't really got to tell a lot of people about this. My favorite one, what I think is absolutely hilarious, and my girlfriend at the time, who then became my wife, and is now my ex-wife. I'm related, potentially. But my ex when we first, I can't remember if we saw it together for the first time, or I think she had seen it before, and she's like, you haven't seen Frozen? You gotta watch Frozen. So we were watching Frozen in the beginning when they're kids. I reference this all the time whenever I get a chance to talk about Frozen. Also, I always reference this. My favorite part was that epic 360 no-scope headshot that she did on her sister. Like, when she was just chucking ice, like, panicking, and just went, whew, and just, boom, beamed her right in the fucking head. I was just like, dude, that was the perfect kill shot. Like, There should have been like fucking text that dropped down like no scope. You know, I thought that was fucking hilarious. She did not share my comedy in that situation. And the reason I bring that up is because it's similar. There's a moment in this video that I thought was fucking hilarious. I was like, yeah, you did it. That other people may not, but we'll get there when we get there. Other than that, no, I think the video was really cool. Musically, it was beautiful, except for that one section, but that didn't ruin the section by all means. It's like the only critique I really have for the song. Fuck. It's the only critique I really have for the song. I think, yeah, no, it's just like, it was a good song. I liked the story. I liked what the song was about, and I thought the video did a great job in a kind of a different way than just going like pure nature. Like nature was like the prominent, like everything about nature was the prominent aspect of the story, but I felt like it went in a different direction than just going pure nature, which I also think was really cool. Yeah, let's get back into this bitch. I gotta get to the new album soon, man. We gotta get through Macro first, but well, we don't have to. I want to get through Macro first, I should say. I want to finish out this Macro EP, double EP that I technically consider to be one full album, but we're taking it in two different albums. At least it says EP on the lyric website that I have that I use. No idea if that's actually true, but that's what it says. And since it's 5 songs, I could believe it being an EP, but you never know. Anyways. Yeah, let's see. What do I got here? Spoken start. I did not. Now looking at the text, everything else is kind of more expanded and it's much more smaller. So now knowing what I know, it makes sense that the beginning would start spoken word. But I didn't see that one coming. That was pretty cool. I love the very soft guitar plucking that little melody, the riff that the guitar was doing in there. That was really gorgeous. Oh, it also had a little bit of creepiness to it. I thought that said cringy, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. No, creepy. It had a little bit of a creepy atmosphere to it as well. That's kind of cool. So let's look at that here at the beginning. Let's look at those few things here after Napalm does its introduction. Oh, it's kind of like this old-timey, like 1800s, early 1900s, 1800s kind of imagery going on here. I think that's really cool. It's beautiful. Just simple notes, maybe arpeggiated, maybe not. I don't think so. Maybe it's not. It'd be a minor. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not gonna look into it too far, but maybe this nice little arpeggiated chord is just very beautiful, very solemn. It's very soft, very gorgeous, and then her vocal line comes in here right now. But I'm gonna back it up a few seconds to get into that.
This autumn feels like funeral to me. The longest song of grief, and not for what has passed, but for what shall last.
Very cool, mixing the video in there, eyes open right as it gets heavy and whatnot. Very cool directing there. That's very awesome. And right after the spoken, it just zoom goes right into it. That's very cool. It's very cool. That's very beautiful opening there, but also has this like, because she's just saying it in the words that she is saying, mixed with a kind of slight creepy atmosphere that's going on, not only in the video but also in the kind of the guitar and just the ambiance that's going on behind the guitar. Just has this kind of creepy, anticipatory atmosphere, which I feel like all these songs have had, which is very cool. Not gonna lie to you, that's very cool. It's fitting a theme in here. Yeah, it's very cool. So, all right, around 45 seconds, we're just gonna let it play out. I said the rhythm. I think the instruments had a very cool rhythm going on. I wanted to check that out a little deeper. Da 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 da. I just gotta it feels like it's going faster, but it's literally just chord, 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 which is really cool. But it feels like it has this da 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 kind of like feel to it. I don't know if I'm just hearing that in my head because of what the drums are doing, or if it has a little bit of that in there. Let me go back a little bit here. Let me really focus in on that. There's definitely two notes in there. 2 or 3 notes. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, it is as loud as I thought it was gonna be. It just sounds like da 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 da. It kind of has that feel to it, but if it does, there's just very small pickup notes in there, and like what you really hear is the da da da. It just those kind of downbeats to it. Let me give me that. Give me that one more time. Give me that one more time. I think it's 2 notes. Da, 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 da. So that mixed with the drums, ta, 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 just hitting smoothly on every single 8th note, just makes it sound like da 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 da, that's really cool. It's a very simple rhythm that has found a way to be super complex at the same time. That's really cool. I like that rhythm. That's really awesome. Okay, I can't remember. I want to make sure I don't miss that. So I want to make sure we have that in here. Okay, yes, okay. Cool. So I got around 120. We'll go 110 in here. Also, there was another part of the video I might skip over. I don't know. But when she was walking around in the snow and whatnot, like you may have saw my reaction. I was just like, yo, the socks going to be soaking wet. It looks super uncomfortable to be walking around out there in that snow with those socks. They look like wool socks, to be fair, but like that's the only thing that went through my mind at that moment. It was just like, oh my god, your feet must be soaked. That sucks. That's where my priorities were, like clearly. Anyways, let's hear around 120. I said the vocals in the video. Let's hear what I was talking about. Ah, yes. The you can see her breath, like it's cold, and you can see her breath in the air. Like I thought that was a really nice touch. Didn't even need that to be there, and they added it anyways. I like this going back and forth between her in the video and her singing. Very, very cool. And these notes in here are pretty. These are some pretty ass notes here. The classic little kind of dun dun kind of thing that Jinjer Tatiana likes to put in a lot of her vocal lines. Very nice touch. It kind of I just now saw that. It kind of defeats the the outfit a little bit, like this very old-timey 1800s outfit when you see her tattoos bleeding through. It's badass, but it's just like it kind of takes away from the imagery because yeah, not a lot of people had those back in them times. Maybe some places, where they actually literally chiseled it into your skin. First thing that comes to me is like Maori tradition and stuff like that with tattoos before they actually had like tattoos. But yeah, I don't think you'd see this outfit with tattoos, but I think that's fucking hilarious. That just caught my attention there. Video reset. My bad. I forgot. I knew I was close, but I forgot what time it was. Like that rhythm change up there. Back to that rhythm. Okay. Ooh, offbeats on that. I didn't even notice that. Hello. Da da da. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Let's fucking go. And I like that the instruments here, especially the guitars, are playing. They're doing just getting classic by the book kind of writing here, but I think it's very important. So when people do it and do it well, I love to highlight it. And I've noticed Jinjer especially. Who else did this really well? I think it was in this moment. But Jinjer does this a lot, and they do it very well. Whenever, like, you have a solo line, and almost arguably in a lot of sections, especially during vocal sections in a song, the vocal line is going to be the solo. Like, that's the thing you're listening for. That's the most important melody line. So when the solo, the most important melody line, is moving, all the accompanying stuff, you should, and more often than not, there could be certain times when you try to do this for effect, and sometimes it could work, sometimes it could not. But more often than not, you do not want to cover up that melody line if you are not the melody. You want to bring it down, get behind them, let them sing out. However, when they're just holding a long note, they don't have a moving passage, they're not really necessarily doing anything with their line, then you want to bring your line out, be more noticeable. If your line starts moving and theirs doesn't, you crescendo it a little bit, you give it a little bit more, you make it heard. When they come back in, you back off. That happened here. Listen to whenever Tatiana's holding out a long note, listen to what the guitars do. It is what we call here good writing. So it's not the situation that I announced, but it's the same principles as that whenever she starts moving and doing all the stuff that Tatiana loves to do at the end of her phrases, the embellishments and the extra notes and belting and energy she likes to push through, you notice they're holding a sustained note. They get out of her way. They just hold the note. And then when she goes back into her kind of more fast moving passages, they go dun dun. They start doing that rhythm. And then when she starts playing again, they're just they start holding out. They just start holding out the note again. Pretty much whenever she's doing something impressive, whenever she's starting to go crazy with it, it's not just kind of doing the regular melody. They back the fuck up. And then when she's done, they come back in and they play around with each other. That is smart. That is really cool. That is really clever. Beautiful. Beautiful right there. Now I want to go over the part in the video that I was talking about with the muffin moment. You remember that? We're there. This part that I thought was funny. I couldn't see what the instrument was that she was dragging. I could just see that she was dragging an instrument. I thought it was, when I saw the pickaxe there, I thought it was another pickaxe. But I mean, the principle is still the same. It's just a little different. So I was like, oh, dude, is she going to dual wield it? She picked up the other one. I was like, fuck yeah, she's dual wielding, man. I thought she was going to like fucking dual wield pickaxes and shit. I thought it was fucking cool. I thought it was hilarious. But still, shovel and pickaxe dual wielding when she just starts dragging that shit out like a boss. I was just like, fuck yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I don't know if anyone else watching this video saw that. I don't know if anyone was at this point where they saw this here that she was dragging and this over here and thought like, dude, she gonna dual wield that shit? I don't know if anyone else was having that thought, but I thought it was hilarious when I was watching the video. Anyways, around 2:30. I'm gonna jump forward here a little bit. By the way, the scenery, the snow on the drums, and the nature of the background is really fucking cool. Let's see here. 2:30 said that bass. That bass though. All right, let's hear it. I remember it was doing some fun stuff in here. I also thought it was kind of cool that they're almost like zombified hands are still playing their instrument out of the dirt. I thought she was trying to dig them up at first, and then by the end I figured out what was going to happen, and then it happened. Anyways, let's listen to the bass. That bass though. It even sounds like we got a little bit of call and response going on here as well. You hear the guitar will ask. We'll give a question phrase, and then the bass will answer it. That dum dum dum. Then the bass answers dum 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 dum. You know, and they're playing off of each other again. This is a great separation between the guitar and the bass here. The guitar will do a little lick, and then the bass will immediately answer right after. As that's really cool. That's a really cool effect. Beautiful, very beautiful. This part, going to the video, was interesting. I had two different thoughts. One, this reminded me, especially with the kind of the weird stroking, the way it just keeps rising upwards. At first, it was really cool. Then it got a little, I'll say, naughty, for lack of a better term. It really reminded me of this one play I saw back in college. It was, I think it was some kind of like sexual freedom kind of. I think was the point. I don't remember what it was called. But just kind of like, you know, back when like, you know, sex was kind of like, you don't talk about, like, we'll say it was like 50s or something, like you don't really talk about it, you don't really like express it, something you do behind closed doors and whatnot. I think it was kind of the answer to, you know, all the pent up sexual tension and whatnot. You know, not important, but there's I think that's why there's parts in there when they were like kind of singing certain sections that the people would be walking around like rubbing their breasts and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like she was feeling herself up at one point, but I could have missaw that. And it just reminded me of that. But then also, it felt like it got a little, like, you know, it's like a fine line between loving nature and hippie. Hippie and kind of like women that believe they're witches and they dance out in the woods kind of thing. See how many different people I can upset. We got hippies and we got women that think they're witches. I want to go for offensive bingo here. Yeah, it kind of was giving me those kind of like weird dancing in nature kind of feel in there. I thought it was a little odd. I mean, it makes sense because it seems like it's centered around nature topic. Yeah. So I thought that was a little interesting. I also like the way she pronounced annual tradition. Not the tradition part, but the line is annual tradition of mass destruction. I like the way she said annual. I don't know if we skipped over it or not, but we're going to listen for that. Annual. Very rare. Instead of annual, annual. Very interesting way she said that. I like that.
Annual tradition of mass destruction.
Yeah, okay, I thought I saw that. I was writing a little bit at the time, but I thought I saw that. I mean, it's not necessarily groping yourself, but like it's close, you know. The vocal line is gorgeous in here, and you got more of that kind of guitar and other instruments now mixing with the drums a little bit, kind of call and response going on in here. Very cool, very cool.
My biggest source of confusion.
Yeah, again, we're getting a little bit into the dancing in the woods stuff here. A little interesting. Around 340 here, we just jump. The last thing we got here is this one. I've noticed, and I didn't really notice it in in the last album, King of Everything. I feel like there probably was some instances of it, but I didn't really note it for some reason. I don't know why, but in this album specifically, I'm really noticing her process of writing. Sorry, I got a YouTube reply. I was like, what? Noticing her process of writing her lyrics in Ukrainian and then translating it to English. I've noticed that a few times. I haven't said anything yet, but I have noticed that a few times in these songs. And this one here, I really like this line, but I feel like it's missing a word. The whole "No, we're not dead, just enjoying coma." Like, I feel there needs to be something to set up the word. I mean, I'm not great at English and grammar. Like, grammar especially, I'm not really great at grammar. So I don't know if it's. I don't think prefix is a subject. I don't know the exact term to describe this, but like just enjoying this coma, my coma, the coma, a coma. Like, there has to be something to describe the word coma. To introduce what is the coma possessive of, or who the coma is possessive of. Just enjoying comas in general, like that did like boggle my brain a little bit, because it would be like a really like it is a badass line. We're gonna put it is a badass line, but I feel like I have to do part of the work to finish the sentence. And so it's just like I think it would be like really epic if it's "No, we're not dead, just enjoying our coma." Like, boom. But I feel like I have to add a word in there to kind of make it fit. So that was, I think that was one of the instances of her translating it to English that a word got dropped because they wouldn't say it that way. They don't need those prerequisites like English. English is very picky, it seems. I don't know. I haven't really learned any other language, so I don't know if any other languages are pickier, but it seems like English is very picky. So that did throw me off a little bit. However, I like that she takes the neutral syllable of the ah from coma and then just starts playing with it. Just starts playing with that word, all the ahs and stuff that she has going in here. She's just fucking soloing on. Very gorgeous, very pretty. Let's listen to that here.
No, we're not dead. Just enjoying coma.
So it was around this point in the video that when I was still seeing the people playing the guitar, and she was just kind of tearing at the dirt for what seemed to be either just upset or just for no reason. Then I realized I was like, oh, so she's not trying to dig out her fellow bandmates. She's burying herself, isn't she? And yeah, I was right. I was right, yeah. A very interesting way to end the video. Very cool. Like, you don't know why it's happening, but there's a story here. I mean, you might have been able to figure it out. I don't know why it's happening. Let's phrase it that way. But there's a story going on here. There's something has happened. We're in the middle of the story, and where it's ending, I don't know what happened before that's led up to this, but I know that there is a story that's happening, and I think that's really fucking cool. I still feel really bad for her socks, though. That's got to be a miserable cold on her feet. And I actually really like this part going back to the metal here. I imagine like if any part was going to be screamed, it would be this part. And so when this part came out, I was like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Like, this is really cool. And I gotta just say, that drummer's giving it all he's got, man. That's pretty bitch. And also, besides the fact that it's just cool that she ends up burying herself and whatnot, I imagine that has some kind of symbolism to it. like, you know, going off of the annual tradition of mass destruction in the name of total reconstruction, which also, by the way, a really good flip on construction. You know, destruction, reconstruction, the uction, I should say. Good flip on that. But kind of what it sounds like, again, as I was kind of mentioning that Nightwish theme, especially in Greatest Show on Earth, of like humans' nature to try to destroy itself, kind of like we're burying ourselves kind of imagery there. I don't know if that's the exact symbolism, but that's what I got out of it, and I think that's really cool. And it also could be like some kind of like phoenix with the from the ashes of my roots, the new me will rise again, or rise to live again. But kind of like burying yourself in the ashes to be born again and rise again, kind of thing. That's also an interesting imagery to put out there.
This is poetry of the old. Yes, this poetry of me and you.
There she is buried. Very cool. Very cool song. There's very beautiful parts in that song. I love what the instruments did and the rhythms in there. And I thought the video tied it all together very nicely. So yeah, it's all around just good stuff. Good stuff. Last song we have is Micro. It is instrumental. At least that is what the Lyric website tells me. So I don't know why they would say that if there was actually theirs. So we're going to end this album out with a beautiful instrumental song. I'll see you all next time.